Hi, everybody. This is Saad. Earlier today, I recorded an episode with PragerU on my forthcoming book, Suicidal Empathy, which you can pre-order right now. Please do so. And yesterday, I also posted a link if you'd like to pre-order signed copy, so you can do all that. But prior to heading off for my recording today, I went for my morning walk and went for a coffee. And we were sitting there at the coffee shop, and I posted the following very incendiary post. Why do women no longer wear any real clothes and instead are always in athleisure? It's grotesque. Every single woman at the cafe is dressed in this manner. And it's just part of my joking around. I'll sometimes post things about, oh, I hate the song that's playing at the cafe, or you should see the people next to me, how they're gossiping about so-and-so. It's just kind of random utterances that are coming at me in my daily life. So I didn't think much of it, just having a bit of fun. Then I went off, recorded my PragerU Suicidal Empathy, and then as we were being driven back to our condo, I saw just a tsunami of hate. Now, some of you may heard that I have ranked the sources of hate that I've received. The most hate I've ever received, and this, I'm not being facetious, was when I made a joke about the French-Canadian accent on Joe Rogan's show. For about a month, I was public enemy number one in Quebec. I speak fluent French. I speak better French than most of the people who came after me. But they simply couldn't handle the fact that I would dare make fun of the French-Canadian accent. Then I also said that the second group that was the most unbearably unhinged were the trans activists. And with Valerie Bertinelli, where once I had mentioned that my wife was about to speak to a barista who seemed like they were trans, and she was kind of very afraid to not address them the proper way. And so that post was meant to show how sensitive my wife was and not trying to hurt someone's feelings. And it turned into, oh, look at this guy who's afraid to talk to a trans person and so on. And I just received endless hate. Third most hate that I've received is when I had the tofu Taliban brigade come after me, the vegans, when I argued that there are very, very clear evolutionary reasons as to why humans have evolved a desire to eat animal protein. And then only in fourth place are the hardline Muslims who come after me because I criticize something about Islam. But now all those folks are taking the back seat to the camel toe Karens who are very, very upset that this disgusting, misogynistic pig is telling women how to dress. Let's break that down a bit. I jokingly say, you know what, maybe you need to dress a bit more elegantly when you're out, because some of us are not trained gynecologists and we don't want to see your labia major and see, how far along you're dilated, right? That's all that meant. That, there's a modesty here. By the way, I'm someone who has spent decades defending women's rights at great personal costs, right? I get death threats because I want women to be emancipated in the Middle East, that they're not wearing, the freedom veils that hide their identities. So all the camel toe Karens were suddenly not at all appreciative of all my fights for women's rights. What they were very upset about is that someone flippantly, jokingly says, hey, you know what, maybe once in a while make a bit of effort to dress up. Now, I appreciate the fact that people can want to dress comfortably, but you could dress comfortably without giving us your full gynecological exam, right? And I jokingly have also said that, seeing that can turn a fully heterosexual man into a gay man. People who are confident can laugh at that. So for example, I've also said that when it should be illegal to wear sweatpants. Now, do I literally mean that people should be arrested when they're in sweatpants? No, I'm joking. I'm using hyperbolic humor to say, there's a way to present yourself to the world, right? And by the way, there are many, many women that I see on a daily basis at, say a regular cafe that I go to, and I've never seen them wear anything other than, you know, the tight shorts, the athleisure, or whatever it's called, the athletic foot, whatever it's called. Okay. What was I saying there is that there is a way to present yourself to the world. My position is that, for example, I never wear sweatpants. That doesn't mean that I wear three-piece suits all day long with bow ties, but it means that there's a way to present yourself. For example, when I was 20 years old, I had 4.3% body fat. I had an 8-pack. And so the way that I would present myself without a shirt when I was 20 is different than the way I present myself at 61. Even though I'm still the model of masculinity, I don't have the same cuts that I did when I was 20. And therefore I dress accordingly, knowing that my body is not nearly as attractive today as it was back in 1985. So even if you had a gorgeous body as a woman, that doesn't mean that we need to be privy to the gynecological exam. I didn't go to medical school to train as a gynecologist so that every 4 meters I see camel toe Karen coming at me, right? But again, someone who's confident can look at my thing, laugh, brush it off, and move on. But it says something about Western feminism that a man dared comment about our dress code. Okay? People who are confident can take jokes. That's called anti-fragility, as Nassim Taleb calls it. Or, as Seneca explained to us, strong trees that have deep roots and strong trunks are those that have faced wind stressors. So to all camel toe Karens, you could F off. We live in a free society where people can joke. If you don't like my content, you could F off and not listen to it. Grow a spine, grow a pair, appreciate the fact that people can joke around, and move on. Take care, everybody.